Yo, what's going on Twitch? We're live, I think. I hope. Um, Today we're doing something a little different. We're gonna play some Final Girl. So this is gonna be the start of a long series. I'm gonna start streaming through the whole, hopefully series one. Today we're gonna start with the Camp Happy Trails. So we've got this is the location board over here. So we are going up against Hans the Butcher at Camp Happy Trails. So, in Final Girl, you're like in some horror movie trying to survive. Basically, I'm gonna be like the worst at explaining this, but it's a solo only game. And I think a lot of the feature films are based on real movies, so it's really cool to play through them all and see, kind of the different mechanics and stuff. But I'm no Final Girl expert or anything, but we're gonna stumble through this definitely. And we got the tier board because um, we need all the help we can get. But yeah, I'm gonna do my best to explain this game. Um, we have two Final Girls from this feature film. We have Rico and Laurie. Okay, so Rico has, well, I guess I'll zoom in on this a little bit. We've got Rico has 6 health. Laurie has 5 health. And then you see these little meeple things are just going to be like, there's going to be victims on the board, on the location board. And when we save a victim, we'll go on here. We'll put that victim on this spot and get our benefits listed there. So this is reduce the horror by 1. This is gain 2 time. Time is the kind of like the money system in this game. You spend time to buy new cards. You start with some action cards. You start with 6 action cards here. See, I just get distracted and start talking about other stuff. But we've got Laurie and Rico. Once you do save 6 victims, though, once you've used all of these abilities, you'll flip the card, and then you have access to her special ability. So, Laurie, I think we're going to play Laurie first. So, whenever you are in the same space as an enemy and inflict damage, do an additional damage. So, that's big. Um, there are weapons and stuff in this game. You are trying to survive, and there's a killer trying to get you. So, pretty much, we're doing this for like October. We got some spooky music going on. Um, yeah. So, this over here is Laurie's health. And you'll notice there's only 4 health tokens here because there's. This is probably my favorite part about the game. Um, when you get down to 4 health, or when you get down to your last health, at the beginning of the game, you'll mix up all of these. Now, some of these are blank on one side, so and some have extra health tokens. So I'll flip through these and see. So we have 3 blanks so far. Okay, there's one with 2 extra health. And then we have another blank. We have another blank one. One with 1 health. Okay. And then we've got another blank one. It's a lot of blanks I'm noticing. It looks like there's just a 1, a 2, and a 3 extra health. So what you'll do is you'll mix these up at the start. So we're just going to mix them up. We got to put the good ones in first, right? So the ones with extra health. So you'll mix these up. And then you will grab one for yourself. So that will be Laurie's 5th health. Now, when we get down to that last health, there is I know it's hard to see right now, but there's a picture of an extra die on there. When you're down to your last health, you roll an extra die. Also, if you take damage and you flip that over, and there's no health on the back of that token, you're dead. So it's pretty luck based. But there is a lot of action cards and ways to manipulate stuff. So we're going to do our best. We also pick one of these for the killer. So I'm going to move up to the killer board here. I'll explain everything right here. So we put the Hans. He's got 12 health, right? So we put 11 health here. I think I have 11. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. And then this will be his final health. And when we get him down to his last health, we also get an extra die. So whether we're on our last health or the killer's on his last health, we get to roll an extra die, which is great. Yeah, and then we'll flip that over, and if he has a blank one of those tokens, then he's dead, and we win. And if there's extra health on there, then we just give him that health, and we have to kill him again, basically. So it can be pretty frustrating. The rest of this board, up here there's a spot for some minor dark powers. I'll get into that later. But this is the Bloodlust track. And this kind of shows, how much the boss is going to move and attack. Okay, so the foot here, we start here on 1, so he's going to move 1 and attack for 2. And then as he kills victims, this Bloodlust track will go up. He's going to move for 1, attack for 2. All the way up to here, he'll move for 1, attack for 3. And then when it gets to here, he'll move for 2 and attack for 3. Okay? So that's about all I know about the Bloodlust track so far. There's also these killer cards. So it is based on like movie style stuff. So we've got 3 cards here. Let me change this. We've got these 3 killer cards. Actually, let me just go back up to this other screen. So what we're going to do is shuffle these. Now, one of them... Okay, so for the bottom, there is one that's a special finale or something. These are the finale cards. And this is just going to kind of show what the boss is going to do and who he's going to attack. So the boss will target the closest... This means target the final girl or the closest victim and attack. Alright, so these all have different abilities on them. So we're going to choose one and put it there. And then same for the bottom half of the cards. Okay, and again, there's a special one in here, like this Blood Frenzy. This is an epic... Okay, that's what the word I was looking for. Epic Dark Power. So we're not going to use that. We're not that great at this game. We're still learning it. So I'm just going to shuffle these up and pick one of these regular Dark Powers. Now, when the Bloodlust track gets to here, they will then activate this bottom dark power. And that'll change what he can do. It'll give him some kind of boost or something. Who knows? Okay, over here we got the victim pool. Let me switch to the location board here. So this is where most of the action is going to take place over here, Camp Happy Trails. That is about the most I can zoom in. So basically, we have a bunch of locations here on the board. And what you're going to do is flip this. We have some setup cards here. So this is going to determine how we start. We're going to shuffle these up and flip one. And these are all different possible starting setups to the game. So I know that's hard to see, but I'll move it down here for now. So, and there's a big glare. Yikes. Okay, anyway, so this is meditation hour. So, okay, you can see it a little better there. All right, so this shows where the final girl is going to start. So we are purple. That's going to be our final girl, Meeple. So we're going to start right there. Okay, maybe I can put them down like this so they're easier to see. And then we have our killer location as the K. So we're going to put this where it says to put that. The killer's actually going to start on the lake. He's going for a swim. And then all these 1s and 2s are going to be victims. So we have a victim pool here. So we'll just start placing them out where it says to place them. So we've got 1 victim there. We have 1 in fire pit. We've got 1 here. We've got 2 in the makeout point. I guess they're making out. It's a bunch of bad kids at a summer camp or something. And then we have a cliff. So there's someone on a cliff. And then a dock. Now, you'll see the dock. I know it's probably hard to see. But the dock is a... it has that little wrench icon, which means you can search that area for an item. And we have the item deck up there. We're going to shuffle and put 4 cards out. And then we'll be able to get those items. Now we can see the top item. Let's just finish putting these victims out, and then I'll shuffle the item deck and explain it. So we've got the killer here. We've got victims here and here. So what's next? We got victims all around. Okay, another victim here. Okay, we have 1 last one there, and I think that's all of them. So there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we got 10 victims. That's our setup for the game. We're also going to flip an event card. So that's going to change some stuff. We won't do that yet, though. I'm going to finish the rest of the setup here so kind of explain what we're doing. All right, so we have this item deck. Now, I think it's 4 cards, so we're going to shuffle the whole item deck. Shuffle this deck up. And then we're going to make, looks like 3 piles of 4. So they have item deck, item deck, item deck, and then bonus item deck. So we're going to do 3 piles of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then for the last 3 items, we flip that top card so we can see what's available. All right, so in the cabins, we have a knife available, and it's got no range. So I think that first number on the knife is range, so you need to be within melee range. You need to be, in the same location as your enemy. And it looks like it does 1 damage, and it takes up 1 hand slot. So if you've ever played like Gloomhaven, it's a little bit like that. And then in the dock, the dock location, which is here, we have a map. And the map says, discard during the action phase, and then for each deck of item cards, do one of the following. If the top card is face down, reveal it. If the top card is face up, you may remove it from the game and reveal the next card. Okay, we most likely don't care about the map. I don't think I've ever seen that. But then we have this last item deck here. So the items go like that, and then you'll flip the last card. I know there's a massive glare. I'll have to fix that next time. I don't know. Probably looks like shit. And then the rest of the item cards just get put away. So that's it for the location board. We'll flip an event card here. And as you can see, this is one of the special victims. There's 3 special victims. So there's a white, a blue, and an orange. This is Vengeance. So we got the Vengeance one. Okay, so this Vengeance card says, I don't know why I pissed it off, and I don't care. Just save me. All right, this is the victim farthest from the killer is now the damned. Okay. Whenever the killer must choose a target, the damned is chosen instead. The damned can only be saved if it is the last victim alive. If the damned dies, +2 bloodlust. Okay. I'm not like the best at Final Girl. I really don't even feel like dealing with the damned right away. Let me read this again. So the victim farthest from the killer is now the damned. So the furthest from the killer, we can count these spaces, I guess. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It would be 1, 2, 3, 4. It would be this guy. It has to be, right? So we switch that with an orange meeple as a special victim, and that is now the damned. All right, and it says whenever the killer must choose a target, the damned is chosen instead. That's kind of good though, because then like does he just chase the damned the whole game? That's the like rules question I would have immediately on that. Don't know. I have no idea. Um, yeah, we can look through the rule book real quick, I guess. I really don't feel like dealing with the damned right away. We could just change that. Because it is a little confusing, like the targeting and stuff in this game. Whenever they must choose a target. So they're going to go after basically the final girl or a victim each time. Does that mean like that they'll just avoid all these victims and go straight for the damned? And we can't save them basically until... Yo, we're going to scrap this. Yo, what's up with this? The boyfriend? Is this any easier? All right. The victim closest to you is now your boyfriend. If the boyfriend dies in your space, start the next action phase with 12 time. Yo, we're trying to kill the boyfriend? Um I might be that seems all right. The victim closest to you is now your boyfriend. That's going to be this guy. Yeah, let's do this one instead. I can't believe we got two special meeples. Right off jump with the event cards. What's up with that? And if this dude dies in our space, we start the next thing with 12 time. We're just going to be like super strong. Yeah, that's great. Sounds good to me. We have to put this guy back though, right? So there is a victim there. All right, so that's most of the setup. I'm going to do the rest in a minute here. I'm going to take a quick break. Okay, where was I? What else do I need to explain? Basically, we have these cards down here. Yeah, I guess this is really the last thing. The cards, the dice. I can get these out of the way. We do have some tokens. If you can also get miniatures for this. I do like this game a lot. It's really fun. especially since mostly I just play board games solo anyway. Um, so we're gonna look at these starting cards. So these are free. They cost no time when you go to pick them back up, but you can't um, pick them up until the following round. So basically, the way this works, how do I explain this? Yikes. So we have two cards that are called Focus. Okay. Okay, let's go over here. Okay, we've got two cards called Focus. And I think I should move this over a little bit so we can actually see the dice rolling thing too. So we can roll the dice. You can see all that stuff. There's really no need to have a scene like this. I have horror scene. Let me move this over a little bit. Forgive me, this is my first time streaming Final Girl. Brand new setup. Yeah, we'll do it like this. How's this look? A little better? Very nice. Right. So we have two cards called Focus, and what this means is, like, basically we're gonna play cards from our hand. We start with these 6 cards, so we can play all of these cards, but then basically we won't have really much to do next turn. Um, because you'll see some of the cards cost time, and some of them will give you time. And a lot of times it's based on how you roll, and anytime you're rolling dice, it's really a luck factor. So we've got Weak Attack as one of our cards. We have 2 focuses, like I said. Now, the focus cards are just going to be adjusting the horror. And what the horror does is it tells you how many dice you're allowed to roll. So we start on 4 horror, meaning we can roll 2 dice each time we play a card. The more dice, the better, because you're going to want those successes. So on the dice, there's stars like this. There's this means you can pitch 2 cards to turn it into a success, so it's a convert. This means you fail. So it looks like there's 2 sides. A 5 and a 6 is a success. A 1 and a 2 is a fail. A 3 and a 4 is a convert. So the odds are like 1 and 3, I guess. I don't know. I'm not good at math or anything. We do have the tier dice. We might just play with the tier dice because we've got the tier board set up and everything. I think when you play with the tier dice, here's the rules right here. All right. It is well known in Final Girl lore that our inspiration and creativity is fueled by the tears of the players. That's actually good. As you might imagine, our engine is overflowing. As such, we've created a means of letting you put your own tears to good use. Okay, so they're talking about people bitching about, oh, can't roll success, whatever. So what we do is we roll 2 dice, and that right there would have been like no success. You have to pitch 2 cards to convert it into a single success, meaning you have to spend a time and lower the horror by 1. Okay, you can already kind of see this game is rough. So I think we are going to use the tier dice like a little baby and cry about it, which is fine with me. Especially first game. We'll see how it goes. We got the tier dice here. I have not read these rules yet, though, so this is my first time using these, first time reading these, so I'm just going to go over them real quick. Decide before the game if you want to use the tier dice, so we just did that. If you do, replace the normal red Final Girl dice with the blue tier dice. All right, that answers my question. I was going to try to use like two tier dice, maybe, if we got into a situation, but I guess you got to just replace them all. And then it says, these are similar in form and function to the basic red dice, but instead of the blanks on the 1 and 2 side. They have a teardrop icon in the 1 and 2 side of each die. Okay, so then these die have no failure. They just have a teardrop, which is actually hilarious. Each time you roll a teardrop, you'll put a teardrop on the board here. Collect a tear. Just reading the first, excuse me, the first sentence in their little, um, rule book here has me cracking up. I don't know why. It's well known in Final Girl lore that our inspiration and creativity is fueled by the tears of the players. I love it. Okay. Yeah, so there's similar in form and function. They have a 1 and 2, whatever, with a tier on them. Choose which side of the tier board you would like to use and place it in the table with the 5 tier markers nearby in a general supply. So we've done that. Collecting tiers. Each time you resolve a no success final result during a horror roll, you make 1 tier marker for each tier showing on the dice. Okay. Excuse me. All right. Place the collected tiers in the indicated space on the tier board. All right, that's going to be up here. So as we roll tiers, we'll collect them, and then we can spend them. So we can spend 1 for a time here is basically what it looks like. We can spend 2 tiers to move 1 space. I really like that. I do have trouble moving in this game a lot when I play. I end up with like a bunch of walk cards, and I just can't move across the board, and I end up just getting schwacked by Hans or whatever. All right, so bet that's gonna be it. What else? Let's see. You do not collect tiers when resolving a successful horror roll, i.e., 1 or more successes, including a converted partial successes. You do not collect tiers if you already have all 5 tier markers. Hold on. So are they saying here that if we roll a success and a tier, we don't get a tier? Including partial. Here I am crying about not getting tiers already. All right. It's fine. What they mean is if we roll a tier and a star, we don't get a tier, basically. So we have to just have tiers to get tiers, right? So, like, we could either choose to convert this into a success or just take the tier. I kind of like that. I think this is a good addition to the game. It's a hilarious addition to the game. I still can't stop laughing at the first sentence of the rule book from the tier thing, the dice rule sheet here. I don't know why I think that's so funny. I'll read it again. It is well known in Final Girl lore that our inspiration and creativity is fueled by the tears of the players. Oh boy. All right. Fun stuff. So we're using Laurie here. We'll put her on this side. This is the side we start on, and as we save victims, once I start going, I think you'll get the hang of it. If you are new to Final Girl, it'll make a little more sense. I was going over the cards, and then I got distracted by the tiers. So we have 2 focuses. We have a weak attack. We have short rest. So short rest is like a healing card. If you roll 2 successes, you get 2 health back. Okay. Then you have 1 success for a health, and you have to spend a time. You start with 6 time. This is the time tracker, and as you buy cards from the display here, you'll spend. They cost time. So the starting cards cost no time. You'll just get those back for free. So we'll always have access to these 6 cards as long as we don't use them all right away. And then we have 2 walk cards. So this is how we move around the board. If we roll 2 successes with a walk card, we get to move 2 spaces, and we have to spend a time. So pretty much everything in this game costs time, which is also funny. But yeah, so we're going to start out. Let's take a look at the board here. Now, we have motorboat keys. I know there's a big glare up in that corner. I could try to fix it. I don't know. Realistically, that's the best I can do. There's still a bit of a glare there, but it is what it is. So, for let's look at the location board. We have motorboat keys in the utility shed. Now, the utility shed is over here, so that's pretty far away. But if we get that, we can place the motorboat token. So that's a token, a special token, at the closest space to you, bordering a water space, okay? And then we spend 2 time to use the boat to travel to any other space bordering the water. Victims may come with you. That's another thing in this game. You can only move one. Is it one victim at a time? Maybe 2. I think we can move 2 victims at a time. The way to save victims is to get them from their spaces to these green exit spaces. I know it's probably really hard to see, but these have a white border. The dock, for example, has where we can search, has a orange border, and then the exit spaces, it looks like there's only 3 on this map. 1, 2, 3 exit spaces that we can save victims. So once you move a victim onto an exit space, it's considered saved. And yeah, let's just jump right into it. Oh, I think we take 10 horror cards, or terror cards, sorry. Actually, I'm just going to go over all of this. We have this terror deck. We have to shuffle this. And this is going to influence kind of like what the monster does, what Hans is going to do. So he's just going to be trying to kill us, basically. And the terror deck is a mix of cards from the location deck and the killer deck. So I think we take 10. We'll take 10 just because I think that's the number for some reason. I have not played Final Girl in a long time. If anyone catches any rule mistakes, just let me know. I'm sure I'm going to play this wrong. But it is what it is at this point. All right. The last thing I think I want to talk about is buying cards. So once we end up using whatever cards we want to that are already in our hand, whatever time we have left over here on this horror track thing, whatever time we have left, we can use that to buy new cards from the display over here. So we can get a sprint card. So sprint is with 2 successes, you can move 3 spaces to spend a time. Bam, that's huge. For saving victims. So I always like to get a sprint, and there is 2 copies of that, which is great. There's also improvise, 2 copies of improvise. Until this action phase ends, all 3s and 4s are successes. Boom, that could be big. Then we have, we're jumping into the 3 costs. So we'll go in order here. The search cards, that's how you get items in this game. They cost 2 time, and with 2 successes, you can take the top 2 item cards at your space and choose one. Place the other on top, face up, underneath, face down, or underneath, face down. Okay, so you can choose to make it visible or not. I don't see why it matters. This is a solo game, right? And let's say you only get 1 success. That's going to be take the top item card at your space for 1 time. Then we have defense cards. So this one, like guard. If you roll 2 successes on a defense card, you can only use these blue cards when you're being attacked. So in the middle of the killer phase, it's called. Let's say you get attacked for 2. You only have 2 health left. You don't want to take that damage. You play a guard card. You roll the dice. You get 2 successes. You ignore all damage. You roll a single success. You reduce it by 2. If you miss everything, you can reduce the damage by 1 to a minimum of 1. So you can't reduce it to 0, is what they're saying, but with that last no success thing. Then we have a 4-cost card, Planning. So this is with 2 successes. Add 3 dice for your next horror roll. That could be huge. Um, with a single success gives you 2 extra dice for a time. Then we have no successes. You get an extra dice for the next horror roll. That's it. And then you have to move the horror up and spend 2 time. That seems reckless. Okay, Distraction. One of my favorite cards. Costs 3. This will, with 2 successes, you move the horror up 2, which is amazing. And then you actually gain 2 times. So Distraction is one of my favorite cards in the game. I use it all the time. I don't do much planning. And I don't do much improvising either. So I think you'll see. With a single success, you move the horror 1 and gain 1 time. And with no successes, you lose 4 time. And you still lower the horror by 1. I never knew that. Or move the horror up 1 and lose only 2 time. Okay. Yeah, I did not know that with no successes. That's interesting. And I use that card all the time, too. I'm always just so mad when I roll total misses. We have the tiers now, though, so this is going to be big. I'm telling you. Okay, now we have Furious Strike. So this costs 4 time. If you roll 2 successes, you do 2 damage and bump the horror down 1. With a single success, it does 1 damage, bump the horror down 1, and your action is over. So that's what that X means. Stop your turn. With no successes, you lose a health, lose a horror, like move the horror up, or increase horror, and then stop your turn. Then we have another defense card here called Retaliate. This card's big. I love this card. Again, you can only use this when you're being attacked. And let's see. If you roll 2 successes, you ignore all damage from the attack, and you actually do 2 damage back. With a single success, you reduce damage from attack by 2 and do 1 damage back. That's really good. With no successes, nothing happens, though. So you want to make sure you're rolling at least 2, maybe 3 dice. And then we have Long Rest. I hardly ever use this card. I like to just be on 1 health and try to go ham. So we'll see. But with Long Rest, it is 2 successes will give you 4 health. That is all of Laurie's health, pretty much. And then you spend 1 time. With a single success, it is 3 health, and you lose 2 time. And then with no successes, you gain 2 health, bump the horror up, lose 2 time, and end your turn. All right, then we have one of my other favorite cards here, Critical Blow. So this is an attack card, obviously. And I believe if you have other items, like let's say we had that knife that does 1 damage, and we roll Critical Blow, double success here. We're doing 4 damage, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3 just from the Critical Blow itself. Like, do you need a weapon? That's what I'm wondering. Like, can you do a regular attack, like just with your hands? I'm not sure. But yeah, so this will bump the damage up of items that you have, and if you get a double success, it's 3 damage plus any items, and then reduce horror by 1. All right, and then if you get 1 success, you do 2 damage, reduce horror by 1, stop your turn. With no successes, it's 2 damage, lose 2 health, move the horror up 1, and stop your turn. So that costs 6 time. Pretty crazy. Long Rest costing 5 as well is pretty crazy. So we start out with these couple cards in our hand, and we'll get this game going. That was a lot to go over, especially I'm not even like a seasoned Final Girl player. But yeah, we're going to give it a shot, and I'm definitely going to get some things wrong, but I will follow this little, there's a little cheat sheet here on the Season 3 mat that says you do the action phase first, so you play action cards. So we're going to start off just by doing that. Let's kind of go over what we want to do first. So we do have the cabins, which is a really close place. I'm thinking we maybe go to the cabins. We get that knife, so we've got something to stab this dude with, and then we can go maybe try to save these two victims. Actually, we can't even get to this space. It's probably hard to see. Let's zoom in. We can't even get to this space to save these two at makeout point, unless we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. That's kind of crazy. Oh, that's not even me. I'm way down here. So I need to go over here and get this boyfriend. Uh, the boyfriend card, if he dies in our space, we start the next turn with 12 times. So, yeah, I don't know. I think we go like this. Like, we can't save the boyfriend, right? The victim closest to you is now your boyfriend. If the boyfriend dies in your space, start the next action phase with. So we kind of like want him to die, right? I mean, he counts as a saved victim, does he not? I would assume he would count as a saved victim, so. Yeah, we haven't even started yet. Let's just get right into it. All right, we're going to start playing cards. I think I want to take Final Girl. Laurie. Laurie will go over here. We'll walk over here. We'll go kind of work towards the dock. Is that smart, though? Maybe we go like this and then back up to the cabins. I like that idea. So let's start with a. Maybe we can play one focus to try to get the horror down. Where do we play cards? We'll play focus. We'll do this. And I'll zoom in here. So we're playing a focus. So right now, the horror is at 4, so we get 2 dice. So we'll take 2 of these dice. And, wow, if I can even hold them. We're going to roll these in here, and depending on what we get is what happens. So, okay, so we got a success and a tier. Now, we don't get that tier because of the success. I don't think so. With 1 success, we reduce the horror by 1 and spend 1 time. So we go from 6 time to 5. We reduce the horror by 1. Okay. Then we can walk. I might do a walk here, so start moving. I like to save the other focus for the next turn. So we're going to do a walk. So we take our 2 dice, because we're still rolling 2. As you can see, when the horror gets all the way down to 7, you only roll 1 dice. So that is going to make your successes less and less. If you can get it in this green zone, you're rolling 3 dice. So that's what we want right there. Bam. All right. So we're going to roll 2 dice and try to move some spaces. And if we get like a 1 or a 2 would be ideal. We take a move into this space, and then we bring the boyfriend with us back into this space, right? Because we cannot, or maybe we go 1, 2 and bring all 3 down here into the fire pit. So you just can't go into this space, and I really want to start saving victims and unlocking that ultimate ability. So let's do a walk. Okay, so we got no successes. And what we can do is take a tier here. Or we can convert this partial success into a success. Now, to convert a partial success into a success, we must discard 2 cards as it shows on the dice. So I think we can ditch short rest and weak attack here to move 1 space, and then we lose a time. Does that seem fair? Or do we just take the tier to gain a time back? Let's. I'm actually going to turn the music down a little bit. And for some reason, my mic is not on, right? We need to fix that. That's obviously a huge problem. There we go. Sound better if anyone's listening. Probably not. Turn the music down a little bit. That was starting to annoy me. It's some spooky Halloween music for the October theme, and we are playing a horror movie kind of game, so is what it is. So we're going to discard these 2 cards to convert that 1 success into a, or partial success into a success. I got to stop saying success. So we got basically 1 success, so we can move 1 space and spend a time. So we go down to 4 time here, and we can move 1 space. Let's go in the space with the boyfriend. All right, because if he dies in that space, we start the next turn with 12 time. That's big. Now, in Final Girl, you can, just keep going until you run out of cards, or you can save these cards. And I think you can sell some of these cards for time. But I don't think we're going to do that this time. We're going to hold on to a walk and focus for next turn. But we are going to end our turn right now. So we'll stop the action phase. We'll do the planning phase next. So this is the very first planning phase of the game. This is where we buy cards with the time that we have left. So we have... Sorry, it's going to take me a minute to get used to these scenes and whatnot that I've set up on OBS. But we've got... We're on the planning phase. So it says purchase action cards, reset time to 6, and return played action cards to the tableau. So these are the cards we've played. We've played walk, we discarded short rest and weak attack for a success on the walk, and then we played a focus. So these will stay here until we spend this time. So what we have right now is 4 time to spend on action cards over here. So let's take a look at some of these cards. We're going to get a sprint for 2 time. So sprint for 2. And then these cards stay in hand and sprint comes in to our hand. And then we have 2 time left to spend. So let's take a search. We may not use it right away, but it's always good to have that. And then what happens is, since that was the first round, the 0 cost action cards will go there. And then we will move on to the killer phase. All right, killer phase is resolve killer action. Draw a terror card. So the killer action is listed up here on the killer board. So they're just going to do this first. They're going to target the final girl or the closest victim and attack. Now, since there's no movement attached to that, they can't do anything, being that they're in their own space. Now, if there was a victim in this space, they would kill a victim. But there's not. Okay, so we'll do the killer action, and then we're on to flipping a terror card. So we're going to flip a terror card now. And this says, Hans wants me. He's always wanted me. Okay, so we're going to target the final girl, move twice, and then attack once. Okay, let's go to the location board. We're going to target the final girl. That's me in the purple. We're going to move twice. So he's going to go 1, 2, and end up there. And then he doesn't reach us, because he's got 1 movement here. So he does a move 1, and then a move 1, and then an attack. And he can't attack because there's nothing in the space. So Bloodlust doesn't go up or anything, which is great. Oh, we got to reset the time to 6, I forgot. Okay. And then these are the cards we have. So that was... We resolved the killer action, and then we drew a terror card, and then we do what's called a panic phase. So for the panic phase, had a victim died here, all other victims in that space would panic. That's what these small numbers are for. You would panic each victim separately, so you're going to roll a dice for each one, and whatever number you get, they're basically going to run to that space. So if we rolled a 6, they would run to this space. If we rolled 1 to 3, they would move here. If we rolled a 5, they would move into our space. If they rolled a 4, they would move into this space. Okay? So no panic phase. We do upkeep phase. We reveal or finale if there's no tarot cards left, and rearrange the items. But nothing changes, so there is no upkeep. So we move right back to the action phase. All right. For our action phase, I didn't get a distraction last time, so let's do another focus right off jump. So we're gonna roll for a focus here. We roll 2 dice. Okay, 2 partial successes is not a success. We don't get anything for that. Now, we could discard something. We only have 3 cards. See, this is what I mean. Even with the tier dice, you're not doing so hot already. I want to get 1 success off of this, so I'm probably just going to discard search and walk. Unfortunate is what it is. To make that a single success, so we lose 1 time and bump the horror down by 1. Fair enough. If we get a distraction next turn, we might be rolling 3 dice. Okay, all we have left is a sprint, so we're going to roll this sprint and try to get away from the killer a little bit. Get to the cabins. We can freely move through the killer space, right, in Final Girl? Does anyone know? Let's roll these 2 dice. Look at that. We got a single success, so we can move up to 2 spaces for 1 time. Now we can bring 2 victims with us. Let's go like this. 1, 2. We save the boyfriend. We reduce the horror by 1. This is a big turn. All right. Let me explain. Let me explain what just happened here. So we rolled a single success on our sprint. That says move 2 spaces. So on the location board, we bring these 2 victims with us. The boyfriend. So we were here, right? So we bring these 2 victims with us. 1 space, 2 spaces. We spent a time. Now that we've entered an exit space with 2 victims, we save both of those victims. So we get our choice here. We could take an action card worth 2 time. Sorry, I'm bouncing all over the place right now with the scenes and whatnot. I know it's hard to see. So I'm thinking we have 2 victims here that we can place on our Final Girl card. So we can gain a health. We don't need a health. We can move another space, which would be kind of good. Or we could just get a bunch of time. Or reduce the horror by 1. I think what I want to do is get 2 time. So we'll get 2 time, go back up to 6 here. And then we'll reduce the horror by 1, so we're rolling 3 dice. Unfortunately, we have no cards left, so not much we can do about that. That's going to be the end of our turn, pretty much. So we do our planning phase now. And we have 6 time to spend. Now, these action cards from the first turn are all going to be free because they have that 0 time cost. So we get those back. And then we can buy any of these from the tableau, and we can spend 6 time on it. So let's take another sprint for 2. A search for 2. Maybe 2 close calls, because close calls only cost 1. And we just have a bunch of cards in hand. Now, you can only have up to 10, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Maybe it's 8. I don't know. But yeah, so we've spent 6 time there. So we spent 2 on a sprint, 2 on a search, and then 1 close call, and 1 close call puts us at 0 time. So we put it back up to 6. We return the action cards to the tableau. Sprint's going to go with the sprint. Focus is free. Search goes here. Walk goes here because walk was free. And that's kind of how the game works. So we're going to start hopefully speeding this up a little bit. I know I've been spending a lot of time just bullshitting around with the rules and shit just in case anyone doesn't know how to play. including myself. So we're on to the killer phase now. So the killer is going to first attack final girl or a victim. There's none in his space, so that's good news. Then we flip a terror card. All right, so we have Dark Feast. All right, for every victim that is dead, Hans recovers a health. That's big. The first symbol on there is the horror goes down by 1. So we're back up to 2 dice. I was going to buy a distraction, but I think we're okay with the focus that we have and the 2 close calls. We can get at least back to 3 dice. So that's what that hockey mask Jason symbol means. They're going to move that horror up 1. So we got it to the point where we're rolling 3 dice, and then the killer brought it back down. And then every victim that is dead, there's no dead victims yet, which is awesome news. Hans recovers health, and he hasn't taken any damage yet either, so that's kind of irrelevant. Okay, then we did the killer phase, so we do panic phase. Now, no victims died, so there's no panic, and then again, there's no upkeep. So moving on. Now we have a lot of cards here at our disposal. The question is, what do we want to do? I think we start with a focus to try to just get that back up to rolling 3 dice. Increase our chances. So we're going to do a focus roll here. Double success. Whoa, look at that shit. All right. So we actually reduce the horror by 1. So we're into the 3 dice, and we gain 2 times. So we're up to 8. Bam. Gotta love it. All right. Now we're going to sprint. Now, if I sprint and do another double success here, we can get 3 spaces. So we can go 1, 2, bring the victim into the cabins, and we can do a search. And we can get that knife. That's what I'm talking about. And then we can kill Hans. All right, so we're rolling 3 dice. Let's do a sprint. Come on. So we get our 3rd dice here. Double success. Read it and weep. We got a tier 2. That doesn't mean shit. So we spend 1 time. We move up to 3 spaces. Has the playlist stopped? No. Is there music playing? Why don't I hear it? Maybe we just start it over? Yeah, we'll start it over. I spent a lot of time explaining it. That was good. So we did a focus. Didn't we get a double success with that? And then we got a sprint double success. So we're going to move 3 spaces for a time. So we're here in this exit space. So let's see what the options look like here on the location board. We could go 1, 2, 3 and start attacking Hans himself. But I want to get that knife first so that we're doing a little more damage. So let's go like this. 1. Sorry, I'm just moving shit around with my brute ass. 1, 2. Do we bring the victim? Yeah, we bring the victim into the cabin space. So we move 3 spaces there. We have that search card in hand, so we are going to do a search of the cabins. And then we still have 2 close calls, a walk, a short rest, and a weak attack. Doing well. All right, let's do a search. We roll 3 dice here. Okay, not good. We could take a tier. But I think what I'll do we use a close call or do we just pitch the 2 close calls? For a single success, we just take the knife, right? Because it says take the top item card at your space for a time. Let's do that. We'll pitch these 2 cards to convert this partial success into a success, taking the top item card at our space. So we have an item card in our hand now. It takes up 1 hand space because it's a knife, you know. Does 1 damage, which is good. There is some text on it. Great for whittling. Also great for stabbing maniacs. How about it? All right, we can't do anything with those tiers that we rolled because we converted it into a success. I guess the other option would have been to take a tier and then we could have spent it later for some time. But now that we've revealed or taken that revealed item, we don't know what the next item is in the cabins. We could just end our turn there, which I think we are going to do since we ended up getting that basically no successes. I think we just end the turn there because we have 6 time. Or did we have to spend a time? Yeah, we had to spend a time. So let's see, how much time did we spend? We actually gained 2 there. We spent 1, 2 time, right? So we're on 6 time with 3 cards. So I think we end our turn, we keep these 3 cards. We do the planning phase here. Now with 6 time, we could do some hefty damage. We could take a critical blow, but I don't think we'll ever get to him. We should save some more victims, I think. Let's take a sprint for 2. So we've got 4 left. We could take a retaliate. The boat keys could be interesting. I think we work kind of around this way, saving victims, and then we kill Hans when we get to him. So our biggest thing is going to be movement. We get these freebies back. And we have to count the hand of cards now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I think we can buy 4. What did I just take? The freebies. So we still have 4 time, huh? Let's take a retaliate. Or what do you think about Furious Strike? That could be big. Start doing some damage to him. Go the opposite direction. Just start stabbing him with the knife, you know what I'm saying? I kind of like the retaliate. Retaliate works with the weapons, right, in this game? So we can use the knife to retaliate for 3. That I'm not sure about, but what do we spend this time on? Maybe guard? Let's take retaliate for 4. All right, that's going to be all of our time. So then we bounce back up to 6. We've got a knife in hand. We got the free cards, so we put these back where they go. So we have 2 close calls, a search, a sprint, and the free focus. Go back. And then we have a retaliate, short rest, weak attack, sprint, walk, focus, walk. Very cool. All right, the horror is still up in the green, so we're rolling 3 dice. So after the planning phase, we do killer phase. There's no enemies, so again, he doesn't move, he just attacks. We flip a terror card. Horror goes up by 2. He's just standing there. Yes, he is. He has not killed a victim or anything yet. So nothing's really spicy. I'm sure he's going to pop off here soon. So we're going to bounce this horror back by 2. He's going to target the nearest victim or final girl and move twice. So I guess he's going to go this way. Right? And he's just going to stay there. He's just going to stand there at the fire pit with that victim. He doesn't attack or anything. That really sucks because I was going to get a distraction instead of the retaliate. But now we have the retaliate in hand, so that's good. It's good prep for when you start getting just slammed by Hans here. After that killer phase, we have panic phase. Nobody died. It says if a victim was killed at this turn, panic all victims in killer space. Then we have upkeep phase. Reveal final finale if no terror cards left and rearrange items. I think we're good to go. What should we do? If we do a sprint, we can go 1, 2, 3. while saving a victim, gaining 2 time, or taking a 2 cost action card or move an extra space. Try to save these victims here at the makeout point would be big. They are the hardest to get to. We also have, we don't have a search, so we can't get any more items. The boat keys would be interesting. To be able to just zoom across the water here and just start fucking them up, that would be awesome. All right, let's see what can we do here. Maybe we do a walk first? Let's do one walk. No, we have focus. Let's do a focus. Do we have both focuses? No. So we're going to do a focus with 2 dice. We're down to 2 dice now because he bumped the horror back up. So roll 2. What are you talking about? All right, we're going to discard 2 cards to get a double success here. Short rest and weak attack are going. Or do we do short rest and... Yeah, we're not going to attack, right? So let's do short rest and weak attack are going to get pitched for the sprint. Or sorry, for the focus to be a double success. So we've converted that into a double success here. We move this horror back up by 1 and we gain 2 time. All right, that's about the best we can do. We didn't get into that 3 dice zone, but we're going to do a walk, sprint probably and hold on to the retaliate. So let's start with a walk. Okay, we got 1 success, so we can move up to 1 space for 1 time. So we'll move 1 space, spend a time. We did that. All right, let's go walk again. Or do we want to save a walk? Is that smart? No. We got to get this show on the road. Another success, we'll spend a time. We're not going to pitch these 2 cards. They're too important. So we spent that time. We can move 1 more space. Now we're entering an exit space with a victim, so we save it. And we get to place it here on Laurie. So do we go 1 more free space or do we buy a bunch of cards? Or do we take an action card worth 2? See, it's kind of far away to get to that utility shed where the motorboat is. Motorboat keys are. But they are within reach, I think. Maybe we just get a free search card right now. Seems best. Or we take a free sprint card. It's big. Let's take the sprint card. We still have 6 time. Because then we can double sprint here. Oh my god, we can really get across the board. Let's save 1 of the sprints that we got for free. We're going to sprint right now. Come on. Look at this. Double success. I swear. This never happens. All right, double success. So we move 3 spaces for 1 time. So we're going to go. Let me see. What can we really do with 3 spaces here? We can go 1, 2, and bring a victim there. That doesn't make any sense at all. We can kind of go 1, 2, 3. How do we get those victims out of the makeout point? Let's just do it. Let's move 3. And we're going to leave him there. We'll save him. Or do we push him in and then take the other 2 with us? I think that makes the most sense. We bring that victim in with us to that space. And then when we go to leave that space, that was 3, right? 1, 2. So we move 1, 2, 3 spaces. All right. We do have a sprint right now. I'm kind of wondering. See, we're not going to get a walk. We'll have no movement next turn. So, but we could get our ultimate out. That's what I'm kind of going for here. I think we stop our turn there. So let's just end it. We'll go to the planning phase. We have 5 time to spend on cards. What do we want to buy here? We could buy, I'm sort of thinking We get this free focus, right? So we'll add that to the hand. I would like a distraction. So that leaves us with 2 time to spend. So we spent 3 time on a distraction. So we have 2 left. We can get 2 close calls, or a search, or a guard. Let's get 2 close calls. And then we're up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. So we're good. And we'll put these back. Sprint, walk, walk, focus, short rest, weak attack. Very cool. All right, I'm doing a lot better than I normally do this game. All right, that was the end of the planning phase. So we have killer phase. He's going to attack and kill this victim finally. So he's killing his first victim. Since there's a victim in his space, he does the killer action, which is target the final girl or a victim and attack. Now, when he kills a victim, dead victims go here, it looks like, on the mat. So it says every time a victim dies, increase the bloodlust. So we bump this bloodlust up to 1. Doesn't really change anything. He's still moving for 1 and attacking for 2. But when we hit this next spot, it is going to bump the horror. So we did get that distraction. Okay, and then we flip a terror card, so that's probably going to hurt us some more. Yeah, so horror goes up again. And then target the final girl or closest victim, move and attack. So good thing we cleared out those victims on that spot. The closest victim would be this way. So he's going to move 1 space here. And nobody panics because they're all dead. And he can't attack. Okay. All right, no upkeep. Reveal finale card, no. Rearrange items, no. All right, we have some cards at our disposal. We want to get out of there. I don't think bringing that victim with us was smart. Let's leave him back there. And then what we'll do is, should we rip a distraction focus real quick to get 3 dice? Let's try it. We'll do a focus first. Come on. I've been rolling hot here. Look at this. We can pitch these 2. Or we can actually use the close call, which I rarely do. Play after any horror roll to reroll any 1 die, or reroll all die for 2 time. Do we reroll that? I don't think it's even worth it. I say we just pitch it to convert it to a double success, moving the horror back up 1 and gaining 2 time. So we're at 8 time. Okay, and then what we're going to do is a distraction. So we roll 2 here. Look at this. Look at this. Double success. This is the most unrealistic rolling I've ever had. It's the tier dice. No tiers here. We gain 2 time. We're up to 10 time. Horror bumps all the way up, giving us an extra time, right? Because if we went like this, 1, 2, no, we don't get a time. Till we bump the horror up again, or down again, sorry. Then we would gain time. But we're up to 10. I mean, who's complaining? All right, distraction, that's why it's my favorite card. So our last 2 cards, we have retaliate and sprint. We're going to do a sprint. Since that was a successful distraction, we get to roll 3 dice. Oh, single success. All right, move 2 spaces for 1 time, gladly. So we're going to bring both victims with us. We're going to go 1, 2, and we're out here. Okay? All right, moving on to planning phase. We have 9 time to spend. So we get these freebies, but do we want these freebies? Because it's 5 cards. How many cards can you have in Final Girl? I want to say it was like 8 cards, maybe 10. We'd be looking at the planning phase here, right? Purchase a card if you already have 10 cards in your hand. So the card limit is 10. I'm glad I looked that up because that was bothering me. I couldn't figure it out if it was 8 or 10. So if we take these 5 freebies, then we have a retaliate. We can only buy 4 cards with 9 time. Let's take a critical blow for 6. And then a distraction for 3. Or do we need a sprint here? It would be kind of a waste, right? Let's take a furious strike. So that's 4, putting us at 5 time. A sprint for 2, putting us at 3, and a distraction for 3. That's huge. That's a big hand. All right, we put the time back up to 6. We do killer phase. No victims in the killer's space. So what we do now, what am I doing with the dice? How many cards? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards. All right. So no victims in the killer space. So we draw a terror card here. And this says, what's that noise? Let's go and see. I like that. Whoever said let's go and see. If there are no victims on the board, discard and draw the next terror card. Otherwise, all victims move 1 space towards the closest enemy. That actually helps us. Maybe, maybe not. Let's see. So all victims move 1 space towards the closest enemy. So this guy moves into the enemy space. This guy moves this way because that would be closest. This guy moves this way. This guy moves this way. Both of these move this way. This one moves in our space. And then we have target the final girl or closest victim and attack. So this one dies. So he's claimed another body. We move up Bloodlust, which we move up the horror then. So we're going back to 1. Horror's at 1. And then target a victim and move. So boom, he goes here. Now we have panic phase. If a victim was killed this turn, panic all victims in the killer space. So a victim was killed. So we do have to panic that guy. So we'll roll 1 dice here. He panicked a 2. So 1 to 4 sends him this way. So he panics out of that space. I hope that's right. I'm not too good with the panics. I don't know about the rules that much. It says if a victim was killed this turn, panic all victims in the killer space. He killed someone here. He moved here. That one panicked. That's the way we're doing it. After we bought these cards, they should have been placed back. So we have a distraction. We have a free focus, 2 close time, and a sprint back on the tableau. All right. So we do got a lot of cards here we can do some serious stuff with. I'm thinking about getting them boat keys. Are they going to be necessary? Because we're just going to stomp this dude, I'm telling you. Can we stomp him right now? I think we move into his space. Like, he's on an exit space, so that's even better for us, right? We could bring all of our victims there. Although we could just go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces, or we go 1, 2, 3 spaces to save at least 2 victims, and then we can start attacking him. I think that's the move. By that time, we'll have our ultimate ability, and it'll give us 1 extra damage, I believe. So let's do a sprint. Or do we start off with a nice slow walk? Maybe get a move 1 space for free. Maybe get some time back. Let's do a walk. All right, we're going to walk. We roll 3 dice still. Okay, single success and 2 partials. What we do here is pitch, short rest, focus, since we have a distraction, and then we have a double success there on our walk. So we can move 2 spaces for a time. So we'll spend a time and move 2 spaces. We're going to go 1. Oh my God, is that smart though? Let's just go like this. 1, save a victim. Take them, move a space, right? 2, and then move 1 more. Thoughts on that? If we do 2 more, if we save 2 more victims, we get that ultimate ability out. I think we're going to do it anyway, so let's just walk again. Double success again, so we're going to spend a time, move 2 spaces. We bring 2 victims with us. Can you bring victims into the killer space? I don't know why I'm turning British. But can you do that? A victim will not follow you into the killer space, I don't think. I remember reading that somewhere like a long time ago. It has been forever since I've played Final Girl. And he's on that fucking exit space. That hurts. That sucks. All right, what do we do here? We got to move somewhere. We can move 2 spaces. If we bring these victims closer to the killer, he's just going to smack them. I mean, we could go like this. 1, 2. Because we still have a sprint, right? Yeah, we might as well just get our ultimate about. Let's do sprint next. So everything's on track, right? We pitched these 2 for a double success on a walk. So we moved 2 spaces for a time. Then we got another double success on a walk. So 2 times. So yeah, we should be at 4 time. We're about to play sprint. Whoops. All right, we're going to roll for sprint here. Let's see how we do. I'm telling you, this shake this out. This is the lucky Final Girl rolling thing. I mean, it just guarantees success every time. So if we pitch 2 cards, weak attack. Oh, I don't want to pitch 2 cards. Let's just take the time. And we can move 2 spaces on that sprint. I'm fine with that because we get our ultimate. We're going to move 1 space to save both of these victims. We get 2 time back. We're up to 5. We don't gain a health because Laurie only has 5 health. But we take these victims off. And we get our ultimate ability for Laurie. So this says, whenever you are in the same space as an enemy and inflict damage, do an additional damage. So it just gets +1 damage. That's big. So these are all the victims we've saved. Every additional victim we save, we gain 1 time. You gotta love it. Laurie's the beast. All right, she's the first Final Girl that comes with this feature film, I guess. You also get Rico. We could try Rico some other time. Let's see what cards we got left. We have Furious Strike, Weak Attack, Retaliate, and Distraction. Let's hold on to these, right? That seems smart. Because we can buy a Sprint. We have 5 time. We can buy a Sprint. Maybe a Close Call. That's 3. And then we get a Search. No. What's the Search for? We get a Guard. And this Free Focus. That's going to be the play. Let's do that. We're going to do Planning Phase right now. We'll take a Guard for 2. What did I say? A Close Call for 1 and a Sprint for 2. And then we get this Free Focus and the 4 cards we already had. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards in hand. That's big. We're doing well. As long as I'm playing right. All right, so Sprint goes back in the tableau. Walk is free. Walk is free. Focus is free. And Short Rest goes back. Okay, moving on to Killer Phase. So there's no victims in the killer space, so he's not going to attack anything, which is good. But then we flip a terror card and get totally screwed. So Maybe things are starting to go our way. I mean, it does seem that way, doesn't it? All right, let's draw the top card of any item deck. Whoa! Things are starting to go our way. Let's take the one from the cabins that we don't know what it is. Energy drink. This is big. All right. During the action phase, discard this during the action phase and choose one of the following. Move one space or gain 3 time. That's big. All right. So we have an energy drink. This goes in our backpack because it doesn't take up a hand space. So just want to be clear on that. You can have a bunch of items in your backpack if they don't have a hand symbol on them. Some items have 2 hands, so it takes like 2 hands to swing like a big sledgehammer or some shit. You know what I'm saying? You get into it. All right, where were we? All right, that maybe things are starting to go our way card. I've never seen it. I still don't even think it exists, and I just saw it now. So usually you just get hosed in this game, but this is the very first feature film, so supposedly this is one of the easier ones. So that would end the killer phase. No panic, no upkeep. So we are back to the action phase right now. Let's get down there and just start beating them up, right? We got to get him out of that that exit space. He's kind of blocking the exit space, which is total pain in my ass. Do I really care if he kills 3 more victims? He would bring out that dark power. Let's go down there. Let's sprint. We have any walks? We have no walks. Let's do a... should we rip a focus? We could do a focus. Let's pop a focus first. All right, so we're going to roll 3 dice. Oh, all tears. We have a partial there. We can discard I don't know, weak attack and close call to get a single success to reduce horror by 1 and spend a time. That seems like a waste. That was a waste. Okay, we're not going to waste any more cards. We got the bad rolls out of the way. We can say that. Let's do sprint. Roll 3. Come on. No way, dude. What's happening? Let's take a tear. I think we just take a tear there. We're going to start crying. All right, so we just cried a little bit. Do we just stop there? I mean, we've had bad turns. So with no successes, we take a tier, we move a space, we lose a health. I'll take that. We move 1 space, we lose 1 health. We lose 2 time and end our turn. I'm fine with that. So we're down to 3 time, we end our turn. Let's discard the energy drink for 3 time back. We're going to do a discard pile, I guess, just over there. And then... yeah, I don't know. That really sucked. We got a dog coming in. Daisy? Come here. Come on. All right, we got the dog on the table. So yeah, that was a pretty bad turn. You sniffing the final girl parts? She wants to play, don't you? Say hi. Yeah, she's a licker. Okay, coming down. Come on. All right, so we have to end the turn there. Um, basically, when that happens, we go right into planning phase. Yeah. So we have 3 time to spend. The cards are getting a little jangled up here. We're gonna fix that from the dog. What can we spend our 3 time on? We've got distraction, guard, search. Realistically, I'm looking at sprint, close call. That's all I'm buying. And then that puts us with sprint, close call, guard, distraction, fear, strike, and retaliate. We're back up to 6 time. We jump into the killer phase. We get these freebies now. So short rest, focus, 2 walks. I'll take it. Then we put these back. So we have a sprint, focus, weak attack, and a close call go here. Look at that. Big cards missing from the tableau. We do have close to 10, though, probably. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 exactly. So we can't even buy any more cards at this point. We've got to get rid of some. Big stuff happening. Where are we at? Killer phase right now? Okay, so killer action is still just to target the final girl and attack. So nothing happens. We flip a terror card. I'm sure that'll change. Horror goes up by 1. We target the final girl or closest victim. I'm going to assume that they move this way because towards the final girl, right? So then we'll attack and kill this victim. Bloodlust will go up, so we're moving still for 1 and attacking for 2. And that will end the enemy phase or killer phase. All right, so we're on to the next action phase. Let's see what happens. We have to kill Hans, right? That's the name of the game. So we're going to get down there. We've got a knife. That's all we have. That's all we need, I think. We've got some big attacks here. Let's start walking towards them and just, key the drum roll. Or cue the drum roll. Let's go. So we're doing a walk here. Double success, we spend a time and move 1 space. Sorry, 2 spaces. So we go 1. See, I want to save that victim, but I don't think it matters. So we just leave the victim and we go 2 into his space. We're into Hans's space right now. We're about to do a big attack on him. Furious Strike is big. We'll save the retaliate. Anything we get partial, we can convert here with some cards. We have close call. I don't really see the point in doing anything else. Let's just do Furious Strike. We have to start getting them low. So we're going to roll for a Furious Strike here. All right, double success means 4 damage, right? So we get 2 damage. We move the horror down by 1. We get 2 damage plus the additional from our ultimate and plus 1 from our knife. So we're doing 4 damage to Hans. So we take 4 health away. That's what I'm talking about. So we did that Furious Strike. Let's see what else we have. We really have no attack cards, unfortunately. We should have taken like Critical Blow or something. We have to use these cards though, so why not try to save the victims, right? Let's do a sprint. The problem is the victims won't go into the spaces with you. So like really to get this guy, you got to go like 1, 2, 3. We might be able to save 1 more victim with a sprint. Let's try it. Oh, a partial. That actually helps us because we got to discard some cards here. So we're going to pitch. So we ended up getting a success, a tier, and a partial success, which we're going to convert. So to convert a partial success, we discard 2 cards. We'll do that. We'll spend a time. Move 3 spaces. All right. We're going to go 1. 1, 2, 3. Save that victim. We get another time. We're down to 5 cards in 5 time. We can sell cards for time. Let's sell some cards for time so we can get critical blow. What do we want to sell? Maybe a focus? We sell 1 card for time. We go up to 6 time. We buy critical blow. We also have retaliate. That's big. That's going to big chunk of his health. We are running out of terror cards though, so the game does like kind of wind up. Hans will just end up crushing you from the terror cards. So he could get some minor dark powers, which is going to add to his health, but we'll see. All right, that was planning phase. So we actually sold a card for time. We bought critical blow for 6. So that ends it. We go right into the killer phase. He's not in our space, so his action is just to attack the final girl or the closest victim. So there's nobody there. We did move out of the space. So we flip the next tarot card, see what it says. All right, that girl. What's her name? She can help us. I don't know what that means. Place 2 new victims in the space where you started the game. Okay. So we've got 2 new victims here. And we can see where we started the game was here. And then it says bump the horror by 1 and flip a new event. So we'll get rid of the boyfriend card. We flip a new event card, see what it says. All right. Clingy campers. All right. If you grip my arm any tighter, you're going to pull it all right off. All right. There is no penalty for the first victim you save during the action phase. For each additional victim saved, lose a health. All right. So we can only save like 1 or 2 more victims. There's only 3 victims out there, so this is probably like the most drawn out game of Final Girl I've ever played. But we're gonna keep going. Did I ever put these back? I never put these back, so we need to put back a sprint. The short rest. And we never took these freebies, right? So short rest, close call, furious strike goes back. We use that, and then this other walk. So we've actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards now. So we did this. We moved the horror down. We did the event cards. That's the end of the killer phase. Nobody died, so we don't panic anybody. There's also no upkeep. So let's get in there and just start smacking this guy. We have critical blow. We're going to do a walk just to get in his space. We might do focus first. Let's do a focus with 3 dice. Okay, a double success focus gives us 2 time and bumps the horror back up. So we're just killing it here. This never happens. All right, we'll save the other focus in case we have to pitch. Let's do a walk. All right, so we end up getting a tier, a success, and a partial. So let's discard weak attack and focus. Or maybe guard and focus. Because weak attack could just do more damage, right? Yeah, we'll do guard and focus here. We're going to pitch both of those. For a double success on, what was it? What did we do? Walk? Wait, so if we got a single success, there's really no reason for us to move 2 spaces, right? Yeah, so what am I doing? I'll keep the focus in the guard. We'll spend 1 time. And we'll move 1 space into the killer's space. And then we'll start smacking the shit out of them. Okay, let's start with our critical blow. So this is going to be our biggest damage. If we do get this double success here, it's going to be 3, 4, 5 damage with the knife and our ultimate. So 5 damage takes him down pretty good. Let's do this. All right, so we do have to pitch here for a double success. We pitch this in a guard like we talked about. So that's a double success doing 3 damage plus 1 from the knife, 1 from the ultimate. So 5 damage to Hans. So he's down to 2 health. Well, 3 technically. Could be 4, could be 5. We don't know. um, this horror symbol on the card here, since we're at the max or the lowest horror, we actually gain a time back for that, and then we're gonna do a weak attack. So we're gonna roll 3 more dice here and try to smack him for 1, 2, 3 more damage because that kills him, right? We get a single success, so we can lose a health and hit him for 3. I'll take it. So we hit him for 1, 2. We flip. So we're going to check this out. Now, if we flip this and it's blank, he's dead. If we flip this and there's extra health on the backside of that token, he's alive and we have to keep killing him. 3 health? No fucking way. Get the tears out. I'm mad. All right. We put 3 health back on him. And then what we do is take this white token. Showing that we've already revealed this once. I can't believe he got the max health one. I mean, that's crazy. Like, what are the chances he got this? That's unbelievable. So he gets 3 health back. Is that 4 health? I think it's like that. So he gets 3 health back. 1, 2, 3. This is his final health token. And we've got, unfortunately, nothing left, but we could kill him with Retaliate here. So not too many tears, I promise. All right, that's going to end the planning phase or the action phase. We're not going to play any more cards, so we're going to do planning here. We get these 2 freebies. I always seem to forget about that. Let's pick up a Furious Strike for 4, putting us at 4. Time left. And then what we'll do is take a guard. I don't know why. We don't really need it. We are only at 3 health, so what else do we take? Because we have 2 time left. Maybe we take 2 close calls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, let's take 2 close calls for 2 and call it that. All right, now we're on the killer phase. He is in our space, so he's going to attack for 2 here. Oh, we are in trouble. Hopeless Diplodocus. I swear, you're always here, and you're always the only one. I appreciate it. It is supposed to be like a Halloween game. This is Final Girl. We've been playing it for like 2 hours now, and I did like this big explanation on how to play. Basically, you are the last surviving girl in a horror film, and it's actually really cool because they come like the games come like this is the core set here that you get the core box. You have to buy the core box to play the game, and then you still can't play the game with just the core box. You have to buy feature films, they're called. So the feature films are actually, they look just like this, but they unfold like this. And this is this right here, like this board and a killer. So you get a location board and a killer in each feature film. And you can mix and match any location with any killer. It's super fun. It makes for like billions of combinations. You can never get bored with this. We are doing the very first. I'm going to try to play through Series 1 at least. So this is the very first one. It's called Camp Happy Trails and Hans the Butcher. So I don't know what movie this is based on. But yeah, you're the last surviving girl in a horror film. Yeah, I don't know why it's a girl, but it is what it is, you know. It is always a girl, isn't it? Right? Like in the horror movies, it's like some girl screaming and she's the last surviving girl. So yeah, that's basically what this is about. They have really cool, I have an entire shelf over there full of them. So you would be the first dead girl. Yeah, so earlier on, we actually had a boyfriend card where we had the boyfriend. And if the boyfriend died in our space, we started the next turn with 12 time. But we ended up saving him. So he's this blue guy here. We saved him. All of these yellow tokens are victims that we saved. And then all of the yellow tokens over here are dead victims that Hans has killed. Now, each time you kill or the killer kills a victim, it moves the bloodlust track up, and he does more damage and moves. Um, he moves faster, hits harder, all that stuff. And then, yeah, so the card starts like this. So we're playing Laurie, so she has 5 health. We are down to 2, and we're being attacked right now. I need to remember um, that we are on the killer phase. So we have Laurie here. The card starts like this. So with these spaces where if you save victims, you get this stuff. So this reduces the. You've never seen Final Girl. That's crazy. Um, it's one of the best board games by Van Ryder Games. But yeah, so when you save a victim, you can take any of these benefits. So this is going to reduce the horror. Now, horror is this little track here where you start like around here, which means this is how many dice you roll. So you roll 2 dice, and the dice look like this. These are the tier dice. So we're playing with tier dice, but these are the dice that come with the core game. They're red. So they look like this. They have 6 sides, obviously, but a 1 and a 2 is a fail, like you just miss. A 3 and a 4 look like this. So they're a partial success. So you can discard 2 cards to make it into a success. And then we have the 5 and the 6 are successes. So when you roll, you just want to get successes or a couple partials so you can convert. And basically, you want to keep that horror down, because if the killer gets the horror down to 1 die, you're only rolling 1 die, so that's going to weaken your chances of getting successes. Now, we have already killed Hans, technically, because the most interesting thing about this game is that when you get the killer down to his 12 health, you actually put 11 health tokens here, and then you randomly draw from these tokens. I'm probably talking way too fast, but like this is why I love this game. You randomly draw from one of these tokens. Now, these tokens all have different backs. Like this one has 1 health, so he would get 1 health back if we pop that token. And it's random each game. This one means we would have killed him and won. But we ended up getting, of course, the worst possible last health token, which gave him 3 health back. But we are about to kill him right now, so you showed up for the best part, I'm not going to lie. So the way this is going to work, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be able to explain the game to you in a matter of minutes, but I tried. So, yeah, that's what we did. We save all these victims, and when you save all of the victims, like when you fill up all of these spots here, you save these 6 victims, you get your ultimate ability. So Laurie has an ultimate ability that says whenever you're in the same space as an enemy and inflict damage, you do an additional damage. So we actually picked up a knife from the cabins area. This is the location board where all the victims are, and this is where all the action happens over here. Yeah, if you have any questions, like, I am ready to answer. But yeah, I know it's a lot. It can be a lot. But this is the location board. So we started out with 10 victims on the board. We saved 7 so far. And then some got added from Clingy Camper's event card. So these 2 new victims are new. And then this is what the location board looks like. These green border spaces are exit spaces. So that's how you save victims. You can only move with 2 victims at a time, and you have to get them to those exit spaces before the killer comes and gets you. And he's going to be constantly attacking and killing victims. So he's only killed 3, which is impressive for a game. We've actually been doing really well. Things have been going surprisingly well for how they usually go in Final Girl, but it's pretty easy. So you do the action phase where you play your cards. And then you do the planning phase where you spend any time you have left over on cards in this action tableau. Okay, I need to figure out what I just did. Okay, so these would go here. We spent all of our time. We put critical blow back, right? For 6. We did a weak attack. We pitched a guard, and focus goes there. Okay, so these are the cards we have in our hand. So we have a close call, another close call. These are cheap cards where you can re-roll dice. And then we have a blue card, which is a defensive card. So we can roll dice, and if we're attacked, which we are being attacked right now, we're in the middle of the killer phase. And the killer, during the killer phase, you do the killer action. So that's printed here. The killer will target the closest final girl or victim. So if you look at the location board, this is the killer. This is the final girl. We're in the same space as the killer because we just did all that damage to him, and he ended up getting 3 health back. So he's going to attack us for 2. Because Bloodlust is up to here, so he attacks for 2. And what we can do now in reaction, this is a reaction card. The blue cards are reaction cards. So we can do a guard as a reaction where we roll dice. And if we are successful, we get 2 successes. We can ignore all damage. But even better, we have this retaliate card, which is also a reaction card. If we roll 2 successes here, we ignore all damage from the attack, and we do 2 back, plus 1 from our ultimate ability, plus 1 from our knife. So, bam, you know what I mean? Like, we're stabbing this guy. We already took down, like, 12 of his health. So, you know, he's been lucky. He got 15. If we're counting. So we're going to do a retaliate action here. So we just play the card like that, and then you look at where the horror is. So it's on the 3. So we get to roll 3 dice. So when we roll these, it's going to be determining how successful we are. So if we get 1 star, we reduce the attack by 2, and we give 1 damage, which would be 3 damage. But we want to kill him. So that's really all we need is 1 single success here. So we're going to roll this, see how we do. So we roll the dice like this. Okay, not good because we got a 1, a 2, basically tears. Now, on the regular dice, it would look like this. We would get a failure and another failure and then a partial success. So the partial success is important because we can take no successes and add a tier to the tier board here, which would allow us to spend 2 tiers to move a space, but we're not going to do that. We don't care about the tier board right now. We're actually going to take this partial success, and if you look at it looks like 2 cards, so we just discard 2 cards. That's why I bought these close calls. We're going to discard both of these close calls for a single success. So we convert this to a success. So we have 1 success. And if you are successful in a card, you read what it says. So reduce the damage from the attack by 2. Hi, glad I can catch you live. Hey, Team Escocha. How's it going? Yeah, we're in the middle of a final girl. We're about to kill Hans at Camp Happy Trails. So it's been real. Not going to lie. We had some bad luck with the last token. If you know anything about Final Girl, we ended up getting the one that has 3 health on the back. Not familiar with this one. How is it? I'm good. How are you? You don't know about Final Girl. Damn. Yeah, I'm good. Seems like nobody knows about Final Girl. That's crazy. Hoping I'll manage to get your next Wingspan stream. Oh, I did Wingspan yesterday. There should be a VOD. And if not, my YouTube is at Legendary Tabletop. Same as the Twitch. And yeah, if you go to the playlist section on my YouTube, I'll actually just type it here. That's my YouTube. So yeah, if you just go to the playlist section there, there's billions of Wingspan games. They're probably hard to get through though because they are like 1 or 2 hours. I did do a really fast one yesterday though. So like less than 30 minutes, I just flew through it. I didn't even score it up, but yeah. Yeah, so that I play Wingspan all the time. Tomorrow's Wednesday, so I'll probably play Wingspan tomorrow too. So we reduced the attack here by 2, and then we do 1 damage back, plus the damage from our ultimate ability, and plus a damage from the knife. So it's 3 damage back. So Hans only has 3 health left, so we just killed him with a retaliate action. So that's the end of Final Girl. We are successful. We ended up killing Hans the Butcher. And yeah, pretty anticlimactic ending. Although if we didn't have that retaliate card, or if we rolled failures, we would have. How do you get rid of the cheap viewers on streamboo.com stuff? Does anyone know? So if we wouldn't have been able to retaliate that attack, we would have just lost that 2 health. And let's see what our ultimate or our last health token would have been. We would have died. So this is like the most interesting part of the game. Seribot is quite good. Does it automatically? Okay. Yeah, I just seem to get that every time. It's usually the only chatter. Besides Hopeless Diplodocus, I will mention, has always been in the streams. Appreciate it. Are you the guy that was playing Wingspan digital the other day? I think you were like sitting in a... Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was trying to help you out. I'm such a nerd for Wingspan, so like it's probably annoying. Like, yo, you took the wrong bonus card. Or, yo, you did, I just like typing in there. But yeah. Oh, you're very new. Okay, yeah. If you like physical, I do play digital as well. There's a really good community for digital on Discord. You've gotten better. Yeah, playing. Just play. If you want to get really good, go in the Wingspan Discord, and you can sign up for tournaments and play. And actually, if you don't want to sign up for tournaments, you can just. Oh, there's always people in there. There's a channel where they just say LFG, which means looking for game or group. Yeah, so if you don't want to play tournaments, you can 1v1 someone at any time. And it's not like the regular online Wingspan where you're waiting for someone to take a turn, or they might leave. Everyone is very nice there. Oh, so you play Wingspan in the digital too? Yeah, so everyone is super nice there. They'll help you out with the game. They'll play you one-on-one, tell you what goes on. Yeah, I think the guy that runs it is Winging It Wingspan, I want to say. I think his name's Will. He also streams digital Wingspan. I learned how to play from his videos, so mostly his YouTube videos. Like he does a breakdown on all the birds, rates the birds. Like, it doesn't get any better. You can't miss the Discord. It's literally, yeah. You can't miss the Discord. It's literally search for it. Wingspan. Let me see. Actually, it's on my phone. Let me check. So Discord. Wingspan Digital, it's called. There's 23,404 members. It's a community. I don't know. You got it? Okay. Yeah. So good. If you go in the LFG channel there, you can get 1v1s all the time. That's a really good way to improve, because those guys know what they're doing. Usually most of the people are really good at the game. That's how I got better. And honestly, that's just how you learn like most of the birds. Like, it is overwhelming. There's over 180 bird cards just in the base game. So yeah. And then when you add the nectar and the expansions, I could see someone starting out being really overwhelmed with all that stuff. But like, yo, I run it back all the time. I play just the base game. I'll separate my cards, play just the base game, base board, no nectar. I love doing stuff like that. One thing in Wingspan that I would love to try, but I got to get like 6 or 7 people together, which is near impossible for me. I can't even get a 2-player game, but I want to try flock mode. So flock mode is the new 6 or 7 person variant with 2 bird trays and 2 bird feeders. Kind of like 2 games going on, but everyone's involved. Looks really cool. Yeah, the variety of the birds is awesome. Like they all do something different, and there isn't a bad bird in the game. They're really situational. You'll learn that from just playing them, I guess. Like you might pick up a bird and be like, "This doesn't really help me," but there might be another time when it does. That's what I love about Wingspan is there's really situational birds, no bad birds. I also love really quite rural in small town in the Scottish coast, so it's great learning too. Yeah, I could tell you had an accent of some sort. I'm from Philly, so I probably sound weird to you. Yeah, we're out here in the States. West Philadelphia, born and raised. Fresh Prince of Bel Air style, you know. What about you, Hopeless Diplodocus? Where are you from? I think you already told me, but. So yeah, that was interesting actually. South UK, United Kingdoms, United Kingdoms, right? Um, so yeah, when we win, in Final Girl with Laurie, we actually get a special item like this that says, like these are all of the Final Girls special items I have unlocked, and then some that I have not unlocked. So these are actually hidden until you win a game with that Final Girl. So we can find Laurie's special weapon here. I don't want to reveal some of these. This is spoiler alert. Let me just find. Let me find Laurie's little special weapon. Because each Final Girl, there's 2 in each. Okay, here it is. We have Laurie's bow. So this is a bow that we can now add to the item deck when we play with Laurie. So this is. Let me see if I can get the camera to focus on this card. Would be nice, but it's just not working. What am I doing wrong? Like, am I just holding it? Oh, look at that. We got it to focus. Okay, so this is Laurie's bow. Now, the 1 to 3 on it means you can be from 1 to 3 spaces away from the killer, which is wild. It does 1 damage. It's a 2-handed weapon, so that's what the 2 hands are for. And then there's also there's 3 little spots here. So you use these little wood tokens to track it, which I think is really cool. Like in Gloomhaven, its uses. Now, if we ended up getting this bow, we would have to discard the knife or put it in our backpack. So you only have 2 hands, obviously, like a normal person. So if you're using a 2-handed bow, you've got to put it in like this. See, you can carry 2 one-handers or 1 two-hander, basically. And if you have Laurie's bow, you put this little wood token here to basically use it as. This is like your uses. You get 3 arrows. So it says Laurie's bow cannot modify action card and must be used without one. It costs a time to fire an arrow. So what that means is like how we were using the knife to increase our damage here. You cannot use Laurie's bow to do that. So like let's say we were just like over here, we would just say I'm going to fire the bow and do a damage. So you just take a health away from, what's his name? Hans. And you spend a time, and there you go. And you can use it 3 times, so you can do 3 free damage to the enemy. Now, this is her special card that you unlock, so, yeah. This was fun, at least for me. I definitely want to continue series one. So we are going to probably pick this up another time with the next feature film. Um, they are mix and match. So what's really interesting about this is if you get the first feature film, you can obviously only play Camp Happy Trails and Hans the Butcher. But once you get a second feature film, you can then use Hans the Butcher on that other location and vice versa. So they're all mix and match. If you have like 10 feature films, it's like 10 factorial combinations or whatever that you can play. So that's why I really like Final Girl. They've done amazing stuff with this game. And it's super thematic. Like I was saying, you really are that trying to avoid that killer in a movie, and you're the last surviving girl. But yeah, this was great. Thank you, Team Escocia. I don't know how to say it, but thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. And yeah, we could play Wingspan sometime. I haven't been like Scotia. Okay, Team Escocia. Gotcha. Thank you for clarifying. Hopeless Diplodocus. What is that name about? That I'm never gonna get used to saying that. Just gonna call you Hopeless. I feel like that's mean. But yeah, so each feature film comes with two final girls, and um, this is Mrs. Claus. So once you beat a feature film with a final girl, you can basically play with that item. So we have unlocked some. I forgot to mix in the bow, so it's fine. I kind of wanted to just get this game out there and see how it went. Really, I did do like so. This was like a 2 hour stream. I spent like probably an hour in the beginning though, just explaining how to play. I also had to remind myself because it's been a long time since I've played, but I think I could really knock these out. See, series one has like 5 or 6 feature films, and then I have every series. It's sad. Yo, Casey, what's going on, dude? Thank you for stopping by. This is crazy. This game looks crazy. Every game looks crazy, man. I'm not kidding. They are crazy. This one's super fun though. I can give you a brief explanation on what's going on here. Um, so you're like the final girl. It's called Final Girl, okay? And you're a final girl in a horror film, and they do have a lot of films based on like real movies and stuff. So they got like Freddy Krueger, whatever the one, Dr. Fright. I think that's the one where he kills you in your dreams or something. There is actual scenarios like that. This is the very beginning scenario. So the first feature film is Camp Happy Trails with Hans the Butcher. Now, if you get a second feature film, you can mix and match the location and the killer. So what happened here is we played for 2 hours. You have your setup card up here, and you put victims out on the board. So um, it shows you where you start. So this is the final girl meeple. So we would start right here because it shows the final girl there. The killer is the red, so it starts at the lake, and I'm referring to this little card up here. And then all those numbers are victims. So we put victims on the board like this. There's 2 victims making out at makeout point. And then we have a victim here, a victim here. So there's like 10 victims out here. And then what you try to do is save victims. And when you save victims, you get rewards on your final girl card. So you'll move around the board. These little orange spaces are spaces where you can get the items that are above. You can get a map. You can get some keys to the boat. Speaking of the boat, putting it in the water, this weekend. So I'll get some videos for you and send them over, dude. Really hyped for it. It's gonna be fun. It's either gonna be fun or it's gonna sink. So either one's gonna be fun. But yeah. So yeah, you can go around the board. Um, you're trying to kill the killer, obviously, before he kills all the victims. Because as he kills victims, he gets stronger. This is the killer board right here. So Hans, each time he kills a victim, the bloodlust will go up. So it makes his move and attack stronger. So he will end up moving 3 spaces and attacking for 5 if he kills 10 or 12 victims. And then if you run out of terror cards, he does a finale, kind of like in a movie. So this one's Bloodbath. Now, we didn't end up flipping this because we didn't run out of terror cards, but this could happen, and this has happened to me. The killer action just improves. He would move twice and attack twice every killer phase, which is crazy. And then they have this minor dark power down here, or this is actually the first dark power. So whenever Hans attacks you at least once, he attacks an additional time. So he'd be hitting for 2. You can see him there choking Laurie. The art on the cards is really cool. My favorite thing about this game, though, is the last health. So Hans has 12 health, and we actually put 11 health tokens on here instead of 12. So you would put 11 health tokens on here, and then when he gets down to his last health, you mix these up, and at the end of the game, or at the end of his health, let's say we did a bunch of damage to him, right? When you do this last bit of damage, you actually get to roll an extra die when he's down to 1 health, or when I'm down to 1 health, you get to roll an extra die, and then you find out if you killed him or not. And what happened when I played just now is we flipped the worst possible token. So there is a bunch of these. And what you do at the beginning of the game is you mix them up. And see, there's one with 2 extra health. So we got the one with 3 extra health. So we ended up killing him. And then we flipped this to see if we killed him. And then we had to put 3 health back on, like this. So we put 1, 2, and then there's his final health. And we put the white one on this time to show that we already killed him twice. So it's really fun, really thematic. You could think you're about to die looking at the Laurie down here when you save victims. You save 6 victims, you get your ultimate ability, you do extra damage, and then you also have one of these health tokens. Now, I did peep mine. We ended up with 2 extra health, or we had 2 health and this last token, and I wanted to see, he did attack me for 2, but I blocked it, and I did reveal this. I peeped it to see if I would have died, and we would have died. So, yeah, this is a great game. You end up starting with like 6 cards, and then you spend time to buy cards from over here that do damage and better stuff. So, yeah, really fun. Great game from Van Ryder Games. And there's so many feature films out now. We're going to try to play through all of them. I don't know. Tomorrow I'll probably play Wingspan. And then what I can try to do is try to play 1 feature film a week. So, and I will upload them to YouTube. I'll do my best, but it's not the easiest thing. Keeping up with all of it, but I will try my best. So, yeah, this was a great end of the stream here. Thanks everyone for stopping in. Appreciate it, and have a great rest of your day. This was Final Girl.